Hey, welcome everyone. Um, we are we are going to dig into some quick tips. If you want someone else to kind of learn a few things today, shoot them the share this event. We're going to do just some quick tips, nothing crazy about Logos Bible Study software. So looking forward to chatting with you guys, sharing a few things. Just again, quick tips with Mike Colburn. I am one of the coaches with Logos Daily, and I'm trying to learn the streaming thing. I'm trying to figure this out. So feel free to go to the website, logosdaily.com, logos-daily.com, and check out some of the resources that we have there that you guys can be a part of. If you've got any specific questions about the website, or if you want to see any added things to the website as well as resources, feel free to reach out to Jason. I'll put his information right here. Look at this. Email Jason. Let him know if you like this. If you didn't like it, of course, we'll do our best to improve. Well, without any further ado, we'll get started with some quick tips and tricks. I'm going to share my screen here real quick. Let's see here. All right, we are looking good. I am at my just blank home screen. Last time we did this, we actually talked about some shortcuts, using some quick shortcuts. Hopefully those were useful. I wanted to add a little bit more to the shortcuts. I'm not a good individual that memorizes a lot of shortcuts. So there are times when I need to have a reference on what the shortcut that I might need. I'm going to show you guys how to do that today. So we're going to look at even more with shortcuts. And then we will dovetail from there, if we have the time, into talking a little bit, wetting the whistle, so to speak, on layouts. What in the world are they? How do you use them? And what are some quick tips and tricks for that? So let's jump into even more with shortcuts. If you will follow me on the screen here, I first want you to do this, okay? I want you to open up a browser real quick, and whatever search engine you use, totally fine. Just go to your search engine, type shortcuts for Logos. Let's see, Bible software. And you will find in the very top there, it should be the support for Logos. I want you to click on that. I've already opened it up on my screen here. This is what it should look like. It's from the logos.com website. We're going to use this as part of our tools to remember how to do this. So real quickly, what I want you to do before going through all the details of the shortcuts, I want you to click on this print friendly. I want you to save it as a PDF. I have already done this, but save it as a PDF, download that PDF, and then I want you to locate that on your computer real quick. I'm going to do that on mine. All right, it is opening now. So you have this PDF version of your shortcuts that you need to hopefully remember. It's 7 pages. Now, what's really neat about Logos is you can turn any document, as long as it's a Word document, you can turn it into a personal book. So that's what we're going to do real quick, is we're going to convert this into a personal book that you can then search and find the exact shortcut that you need. So have you go back to the PDF real quick. I want you to save this as or export it as a Word document. Make sure it is this Word doc, not the 97 to 2003. We're going to save that real quick. I'll just put it here in my downloads. That's exporting. That's opening it up as a Word document. Once that's done, you can X out of both of those. That's all we initially need to do in order to get the file ready to put this into a usable personal book. Now, I use personal books quite a bit. You'll see I've got organized at the top. We might cover that at some point. Some shortcut drop-down menus. Open up the personal books tool. You'll find that under the tools section. Just type in personal, and you'll see that come up, personal books. Okay. Once that's opened, I want to add new. Okay. I want to add a new book. And now we're going to put in Logos. We're just going to name the title of the book Logos Shortcuts. Okay. You can put in an author if you want. You don't need to. All we're going to do is we're going to add file down here, and I want you to find the file that you just saved. There is the file we converted. Okay, support logos.com keyboard shortcuts. Click open, and then you will finalize this by hitting build book. Okay, once that converts and does its thing, you will now have a resource that's usable, that's linkable, that is searchable. Everything from a traditional book, you have access to it available. And notice it says Logos Shortcuts, which is the title that I gave the book. Okay, you'll see it's nicely laid out. Now, I'll show you a couple things that you'll want to do with this. First of all, if I were you, I would put this in your shortcut menu. Okay, so you can drag this resource now up to the top menu and let go. You'll notice it'll kind of put a nice little book there in the top. If you want to edit that icon, right click on it, and you can name the title. You can change the icon if you want, whatever you'd like to do. I'll just change this to a heart for good measure so that we know that that's the new one. And so now if you close out of all of your panels and just go back to the beginning and you're needing to find some shortcuts, I don't know how to do, maybe how to indent, or I don't know how to highlight a paragraph, or I don't know how to do a certain thing, or maybe is there a way I can do this with a shortcut? All you need to do is click on the heart button that you've made. You now have a shortcut. Now you can make this bigger, okay, by just dragging it to make it full screen, which I'll do for you guys. And then what's really neat is another shortcut, Control F. Now I'm on a PC. Mac users, I think, is Command F. You want the search inside of this document, so Control F. You'll see in the upper right-hand button, you'll see a find, and then you can just search. You know, maybe it's highlight. Okay, notice that there's a shortcut for apply highlighting. Okay, which is Command K. You guys have probably seen these before, but Command L or Control L. Notice that depending on if you're in Control Command, depending if these are Mac ones, if you're using the Windows, it's going to be a little bit different. But you'll be able to see all of these specific items in here that are relative to the shortcut that you want. Now, if you want to edit this further, okay, and you want to tweak this even more so it's specific for your machine, and you say, Mike, I don't want all of the Mac items to show up because I'm a PC user. Well, you can do that, but all you need to do, and I'm not going to go through the details here, all you need to do is go back to your Word document, and you just need to delete all the things that you don't want, okay? So you just need to come in here and take out, let's say, all of the Mac items, okay, in this document. I'll go ahead and show you real quick. All of the Mac items, if you're a PC user, again, if you're a Mac user, you take all the Windows ones, just delete those, save it again real quick, close that. I'm going to close this document real quick that we've been working on. I'm going to go back and open up the personal book again. I'm going to scroll down to the bottom because that's where it's located. Well, it should be, let's see, shortcuts. It's probably located. Well, look at that, Control F. Okay, shortcuts. This is the one we just created. That's a separate one that I had made. I'm going to edit this particular one. I'm going to come down here to this file that's in here already. I'm going to right click on it and say delete. I'm going to add the file and I'm going to add the new one that I just edited already and saved. Okay, build that book one more time. And once that's done, notice that now all I have is my Windows items that are going to be helpful for me personally because I'm on a Windows, a PC device. Okay. And then again, you can take care of the things that you want. For example, Control F, library. Okay. Notice opening and closing the library, which is super helpful, is Alt L. And you can test these out. Just hit Alt L. Notice, boom, it opens up the library. Okay, so this is a great way. I've built this into my personal books kind of drop down right here. Notice I've got a keyboard shortcut already made. So if I'm forgetting offhand, man, I remember I did this, but I can't remember what the shortcut is, and I'm going to need to use it quite a bit. I'll open that up, search through the document, find that, and then use it for the shortcuts. Now, that's kind of the even more with shortcuts. That's hopefully I'm giving you a tool that you can use to further learn more shortcuts instead of actually coming to these videos and learning all the shortcuts. Okay, so do some reading and kind of doing some research on the shortcuts. Now, real quick, I wanted to move over. I know that we promised these were going to be short. I'm going to try to move real quick into just something simple for layouts, just to help you with layouts. Some of you might be well versed in layouts. I just want to let you guys know that this tool in the upper right hand part of the menu is kind of your default layout section. You'll notice I have a bunch of saved layouts. Okay, I'm going to close that. But you have your quick start layouts. Your quick start layouts are the default layouts that Logos already kind of preps and prepares for you. So they've got things like if you're studying for a Greek word study, this is kind of the templated layout that they have, where they have the Bible word study on the left, your preferred Bible in the upper right-hand corner, along with the Greek English lexicon in the bottom right. Of course, you can close everything with the close all panel, but these quick layouts right here, you may not have known this, okay? These layouts can be updated, okay? So you don't have to, you notice some of mine say custom. That's because I've taken their pre-made one and I've edited it. Now, you might say, why, Mike, would you want to do that? Well, you want to do that if you use this command box in the upper section, okay? Because if you type a passage like, just for kicks and giggles, since let's do this, Genesis 6, 1-4, one of my favorite controversial sections of Scripture. These layouts, these default layouts, okay, it has kind of open passage study layout. Well, if I click this, you're going to notice that this layout is not the same layout that you're going to see on yours when you click it. And that's because I've taken the quick start layout and I've customized it. And once it's customized, okay, then I will come up here to the, I believe it's the study box, whichever one it is. You have to figure out which one, but I'll show you here with this one. You click on it and you say replace with current layout. Now, have no fear if you do this and you're like, oh crap, I screwed it all up. Okay, have no fear. There is a default delete everything I did and put it back to normal button. Okay, and that is just click it here and say restore default layout. Okay, and that will put it back to your normal layout. Okay, so that's what you're going to use the quick start functions a little bit for. Is if you use the Go box quite a bit and you use a specific layout, we'll find out what quick start layout that is, and then you can kind of update those, or even the home page layouts can also be updated as well, which I think this passage study is what we just clicked into, and that can be customized as well. Okay, so just a couple of things there that I think will be helpful, that I think oftentimes gets underutilized or missed. Okay, now I'm going to go to one of my layouts that again, you don't need to necessarily copy. It's going to pop up on multiple screens real quick because I have 4 of them. I apologize. Let me get this situated. Okay. So this particular layout I use quite a bit for my morning study. I'm usually doing it on a laptop, and so I have 2 screens here. You'll see this is the first one that I've got set up in kind of 3 columns, and then the second one, which I just alt-tabbed over, has 2 sides of it, and it has a lot of my extra resources and things that I might use or read through and then go back to the other. Now, as you're working through a layout, a custom layout, okay, and building out a layout, inevitably what's going to happen is you're going to start tweaking it and using it, hopefully, right, such that once you've moved along in these resources, once you've kind of updated, let's say you're reading through sections of the Bible and you want to finish at a certain place and you want it to go back to that place so that when you go study in the morning, the next morning, all of your resources are opened back to exactly where you left off. Now, this is really important, okay? Because you don't want to open up your old layout and then be 5 or 6 pages prior to where you were, and you have to figure out where to go. Okay. So one thing that's really, really helpful is the update active layout button. Okay. That means it's going to take everything you just changed and it's going to move that to the next time you open it, it's going to be where you left off. Okay. Now, the only caveat to this is it does not leave off with your notes. Okay. So if you are typing somewhere in your notes section, somewhere in here, and it happens to, you update it, it is not going to open it here. It's going to open it, unfortunately, all the way at the top. Send Logos a feedback and tell them to change that. Okay. At any rate, here's how you're going to find this quick tip, and then we'll finish with this and maybe cover another section next time on additional layout details. Okay. I'm going to close this, close all panels real quick. And in the Go box, I want you to type update active space active. And don't do anything, just let it sit. Don't hit enter. Okay. You'll notice at the very top, there's sections, there's layout, update active layout, there's update now. I want you to take this layout one and I want you to click it, hold it, and drag it to your shortcut menu. So click it, hold it, drag it up here and let go. Okay. Now I've already done this. This is mine right here, update active layout. It defaults to this kind of icon. Again, you can right click, you can change it to whatever you want. I'm going to delete the one I just made because I have it right here. Okay. This button, it doesn't look like it does anything. It doesn't have a little like spinning button saving your layout thing. Okay. It just automatically does it. Okay. So if you open a layout, let's go back here real quick and let's just do the layout real quick. Apologize again, different screen. Let me get that to the right screen. So let's say that we are studying real quick. I'm going to turn off these filters. Apologize. All right. And I happen to say, I really want to add my info tool to this layout. Okay. So again, I went to tools. I just added the info tool. I'm not going to do a discussion on the info tool itself, but let's just say I decided that I want to update this to this particular thing. Okay. This tool. I want you to notice this. If I hit this button, okay, which I'm going to do, when I close, now remember, this is my casual study layout. All I did was I changed it from one of my screens, my monitor screens, over to the one you're looking at. I have 4 of them. And I changed the info. I added the info tools. And then I hit update. Okay. Now I'm going to close this. And then I'm going to go back and open that exact casual layout. I want you to notice what happens. Notice it opened to the same monitor. I didn't have to move it around. Open to the same monitor. And now it has the information tool. Now, pretty cool, right? Now, alternatively, if I were to then move through Isaiah, okay, let's say I want to go to Revelation 1, okay, and I'm going to leave everything else the same, okay. Revelation 1 is what I did on the left-hand side, and I hit update. Now I'm going to close, and I'm going to go back to that layout. I want you to notice what happens. I'm in Revelation, where I left off, okay? Now, that works for all resources with the exception of your tools, your note tool, okay? It does not work with your note tool. It defaults to the very top of the note, all right? But I wanted to show you that. Again, we haven't even touched the surface on layouts. I will add one additional statement to the layouts, and then we'll close this down. The layouts section here, this button at the top, you can save any layout, whether it's multi-screen, single screen. It doesn't matter where it is on the screen. You can save any layout by simply clicking Save As Named Layout, type the name in, and you're done. And it adds it to your saved layouts. Now, you're going to notice I have a bunch of them in here. Okay, I use quite a few of them for different structures, for different things inside of my study. So just I want to leave you with that real quick. That is kind of a major thing to realize, is just how to save the layout. Then how do I go back and look at the layouts that I've saved? So it's under here, saved layouts. You can find it, click into it. And any of these items can be dragged up to your shortcut menu. Notice that I personally don't like to always go here. I have a layout section that has all the layouts that I traditionally use, as well as guides and other things. Now, this is a whole nother discussion on how to kind of organize your shortcuts. Maybe that can be an additional one. Let's see. Could you explain the benefits of numbering notebooks versus creating a notebook for every book of the Bible? That is a question that just came up. I think you'll have to help me understand exactly what you mean by that. Numbering notebooks. Are you referring to the numbers that I have up here versus inside the notes tool? Is that what you're referring to? I think that's probably what you're referring to, is the notebooks up here, numbering them versus having all of the books of the Bible. It partially is a preference. Let me close this real quick and just open up my notes tool. Okay, real quick. It's partially a preference, but inside of your notes, you'll notice that I have notebooks. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so inside the notes tool, excellent. So I personally number my notebooks, and the reason I do that is because by default, Logos alphabetizes the notebooks. So there's no real way to like organize. No, you can't drag and drop. you can't really organize real well your notebooks. And so for me, and the way I have things structured is I think more on a topic basis. So I think of, okay, here's all of my notes that I'm going to categorize as Bible book studies, meaning like they're from certain books of the Bible, Revelation, Peter, whatever it might be. These are notes that are tied to non-Bible books, meaning they aren't in the Hebrew Bible or the New Testament. They're books that are maybe my resources, and I've highlighted and utilized notes and things inside of those, versus topics, teaching, specific teaching tools. Again, just kind of categorizing the types of notes. That's the way I've done it. And that helps me not have so many notebooks, because if you've looked at my video on tagging, you can utilize tags to further kind of split out the notes the way you want. Okay. So an example of that might be my Revelation study notes, which I have kind of, I have a lot of them. I've been studying through them. You'll notice that in my Revelation notes, I also have utilized the tags at the bottom to help me understand what section or what part of Revelation I might particularly be dealing with. So really, you got to think through of how do you want to organize. And then that's the reason why I number my notebooks, is because I want them organized in certain ways. Now, one final thought. I know this is a little off topic from where we started. I have organized my notebooks to tie with the organization of my highlight palettes. Okay. So when you look at your highlight palettes or my highlight palettes, you're going to see that I've got numbered highlight palettes that I'm going to be using that coordinate with similar topics. Okay. Again, we'll talk about, these are all topics that we can cover in upcoming episodes of this. And please, guys, if you do me a favor, if there are specific sections of Logos that you want some quick tips on, put it in the chat. Send an email to Jason. I had that email up earlier. I'll put it up again here. You're welcome to private message me on Facebook, because I'll be running more of these over the next up and coming weeks, because I really want this information to be pertinent to you guys, to help you study. Logos is a great tool, but if you don't use it and you don't learn how to use it, it's a really expensive paperweight, and we don't want that at all inside of this. So hopefully that helped answer your question there. I appreciate the question. And before we finish, I have to do this, and this is really just because Jason will probably get on me if I don't do this. So I'm going to have to tell you guys some bad dad jokes. I'm just going to have to. I've got 18 people on, and probably the highest right now. So I'm just going to ask you guys, you have any questions? You have anyone know why you can't hear a pterodactyl go to the bathroom? You know what a pterodactyl is, right? It's a prehistoric dinosaur. Anyone know why? It's because the P is silent. Oh, that is so bad. So bad. So bad. I'll leave you with this one. Here we go. Why did the Invisible Man turn down the job offer? Well, it's because he couldn't see himself doing the job. Oh, my word. We're going backwards. All right, guys. I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for all of your, we spent about 30 minutes here. Thank you for spending some time with me today. Again, put in the chat if you've got specific information you'd like to see some further discussion on, or shoot Jason an email as well. You can reply to the newsletters that come out as well. That we can get some additional information in the newsletters. But hopefully this was helpful. Let me know how you used the tips today, and we will see you next time when we talk more about layouts. God bless. Be safe, my friends.